watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
On a gorgeous Sunday afternoon, the Yankees are in first place in the East. They won yesterday, and the Orioles on the West Coast lost to the A's. The Rays dropped 4 games behind the Yankees. And it's time for baseball as Hyundai presents the Sunday game of the week. It's the New York Yankees against the Tampa Bay Rays in the rubber game of a 3-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball, along with David Cohn and John Flaherty. I'm Michael Kay. Well, the Yankees needed a win. They need a lot of wins now, and they won yesterday, bouncing back from their loss on Friday. And yesterday they got power, clutch hitting, and they got some pitching as well. Let's start with the power and clutch hitting.
Well, Curtis Granderson is a red-hot hitter for the Yankees. Yesterday, he gets them off on the right foot. A 2-run home run into the seats in right field. That is his 39th of the year. Eduardo Nunez here to play a little bit of defensive speed. He adds power as well. A solo shot back-to-back, and Alex Rodriguez, an opportunity for Joe Madden to pitch around him in the 6th. He decided not to do that, and Alex Rodriguez makes him pay an RBI base hit right back up the middle.
Johnson's coming up the DL in 12 games. Alex has been dangerous. 298, 2 doubles, 3 home runs, 9 ribbies. He scored 11 runs, and he's had a hit in 11 of the 12 games. So we covered the clutch hitting, and we covered the power. Now let's cover the pitching, David.
It couldn't have gone any better on the mound for the Yankees, getting Ivan Nova back after that shoulder trouble, not knowing what you're going to get. What you get was filthy. All breaking stuff down. No hangers today. Ivan Nova in complete command, dominating the Rays lineup. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, and a good fastball to go along with it. Big day for the Yankees and Ivan Nova.
And they would like Kuroda to follow that up today. Now, if you look at Kuroda's numbers since the All-Star break, outstanding, except that there aren't that many wins. Why? We'll try to explain when we come back right here on Yes. New York Lottery pitching matchup. Matt Moore, young left-hander, goes to Tampa Bay 10-10, 3.68. Hiroki Kuroda 13-10 with a 3.17 will go for the Yankees. With Kuroda, it's odd. If you look at his numbers since the All-Star break, 5-3, it seems somewhat pedestrian, but the rest of the numbers, they certainly don't. A sparkling ERA, 2.77, 61 strikeouts, just 10 walks. Opponents hit 230 against him, and he spun 3 complete games, so why only 5 wins? Well, look at the bottom line. 3.3 run support per game during that span. So the Yankees have not exactly given him a lot of runs to go along with that great ERA. What will they do today against Matt Moore? That won't be easy either. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball, Yankees-Rays coming up next on Yes. computer world, by the professionals at your Tri-State GMC dealer, and by Cheeseburger, the most creative and fun restaurant on earth. Visit cheeseburger.com. Third game of this three-game set. Rays won on Friday. Yankees won yesterday, and Hiroki Kuroda will try to make it a series win for the Yankees. Why don't we take a look at the Rays starting lineup that Hiroki Kuroda is going to face? It's presented by Bank of America. Desmond Jennings, he is in left field, and he's going to lead off. Batting second, playing shortstop, Ben Zobrist. The third baseman, Evan Longoria, hits third. Cleaning up, DH Matt Joyce. B.J. Upton in center field will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing first base, Luke Scott. Jeff Keppinger at second base will bat seventh. The number 8 hitter, right fielder Sam Fold, and Jose Lobaton will catch, and he'll bat ninth.
Joe Madden sending out that lineup to face Hiroki Kuroda. It'll be his 30th start of the season. 13-10. The ERA very impressive at 3.17. Take a look at our pitcher scouting report on Kuroda. His last time out in Boston, kind of a strange start. 6 1/3, 3 earned runs, which does not sound terrible. But he gave up 2 leads in that game, which is very unlike him. And he's looking to solidify some question marks in the rotation. Nova did a great job yesterday. Kuroda has a good start today. You feel good about it with Andy Pettitte coming back on Tuesday. And he really gets the big outs. .212 batting average with runners in scoring position. That is third in the American League.
So Kuroda's ready. Before the game, Joe Madden, the Rays manager, said we really have been unable to get our our offense on track all year. He said we're still trying to get it done. He said it's not for lack of trying. Yankee defense will try to stop him, and the defense is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Andrew Jones in left, Curtis Granderson in center, Nick Swisher over at right. In the infield at third base, it's A-Rod, then Nunez at short, Cano at second, and Steve Pearce over at first. Russell Martin behind the plate, and Hiroki Kuroda is on the mound. Well, today is the series finale between these two clubs, and the Rays lead the season series 10-7, which means they will have their third winning season against the Yankees. So Desmond Jennings is ready. Rays are 78-67. The Yankees are 82-63. Kuroda gets the sign from Martin, and let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch is a strike, and we're underway. The 0-1 outside. This is what the Yankees have done the last 3 seasons against the Rays. 9-9 last year, 8-10, 2010. And this year, as I mentioned, 7-10. And a lot of that is because the Dome down in St. Pete has become a house of horrors. Count 1-2.
There's also a pretty good starting rotation. Has a lot to do with that with Tampa Bay as well. The ball club built around speed and their starting rotation, and not a bad bullpen either.
The 1-2 outside. 2-2.
You know, a lot of talk about CC Sabathia being the Yankees ace. Certainly the Yankees need to get him on track, but this guy right here, Kuroda, all over the leaderboard. Clearly the Yankees' best pitcher this year, consistently.
Tipped into the glove of Martin. Strike 3.
Good start for Kuroda right here, but this guy, he gives him innings, he gives him durability. You see kind of a high cut slider. Jennings swings under. Kuroda kind of gets away with one there. He got it away just enough to get Jennings, but Kuroda just takes the ball every 5 days. Across the board, durability, and his ability to keep the teams in the game, innings pitched.
Ben Zobrist takes high.
The Yankees are getting a lot of value on a 1-year deal. And Kuroda was sitting out there on the free agent market last winter.
Well, let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 72 degrees, 41% humidity, not much wind, it's partly cloudy. Feels great though. Kuroda likes pitching under the sun. His last 6 starts in day games, 4-1, 0.84 ERA, 34 strikeouts to 5 walks. Here's the 2-1. 2-2.
Good slider right there in a fastball count. But, you know, a lot of what we do, and even the players as well, you look at pitching matchups in every night or every day game, every series. And with what Nova did yesterday, all of a sudden you start feeling pretty good about the Yankee rotation. Kuroda today, day off tomorrow. Andy Pettit comes back. We'll see what he can give them.
High fly ball, fairly deep right field. Turning around and playing it off the wall is Swisher. He's going to fire it in, and Zobrist is in at second with a double.
Kuroda does a nice job, 2-1 going with the slider and gets a swing and a miss, and he tries to sneak the fastball by Zobrist inside, and it runs right back to the middle of the plate. Nice top hand there with Zobrist getting on top of it, right off the top of the wall. Yankees catching a little bit of a break right there. It'll be a 1-out double instead of a solo home run.
Right on top of the Pepsi sign. You see how close that came to going out. Longoria takes a strike. Grounded foul. Lost the helmet and the ball.
A little harsh on the ball boy down the line there.
I couldn't do it. With Longoria 35-23 without, 1 game under. Count 1-2. Longoria hurts the Yankees this year, 11 for 29 with 3 home runs.
Well, this is exactly what we talked about in the scouting report from Kuroda. Does a great job with runners in scoring position, batting average just over 200 for the opponents.
Count 2-2.
Walking around that clubhouse for Tampa Bay this morning too, you get a sense that this is a must-win for their ball club. Obviously, the Yankees would love to win this game, tight pennant race down the stretch, but the Rays are starting to think now they have to win a game like today to get home, try to get right back in this thing. Couple of games out.
Yeah, the sweep in Baltimore really hurt them. Going head-to-head competition in the American League East. That's what the unbalanced schedule does.
Two. Strike 3. Longoria down looking, punched out by the home plate umpire Paul Emmel.
You see the disbelief on Longoria's face in the slider to the glove. Probably looks a little off the plate. Yep. And Paul O'Neill would say, what do you mean a little off the plate? That's in the other batter's box. Longoria can't believe it. Takes it back to the dugout.
Here's Matt Joyce. 0-1. After this game, the next 9 games that the Rays play will be against sub-500 teams, and those 9 games will be against the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. So if they can get a win here and then beat up on the lesser teams, they might have a chance.
They are clearly looking to the last 3 games of the season against Baltimore and saying, you know what, if we can put ourselves in position to make those games meaningful, that's what they're trying to do at this point.
1-2. A year ago, the Rays were 3.5 games behind in the wild card race, and they went 10-7 the rest of the way. And they clinched the wild card with that win against the Yankees in game 162. So for the Rays, this 4-game deficit behind the Yankees isn't going to spook them, but they realize they have to start winning games. They're only 3 back in the wild card, so they're a half game better than they were last year at this time. It's amazing what the A's have done. The Orioles have been red hot. They go there and they lose Friday and Saturday. And, you know, we keep looking at the A's for a wild card. They're only 2 games behind Texas. For the American League West, their record since the All-Star break, when they started the second half by sweeping the Yankees 4 straight games, they've never looked back. They've got good hitting, they have power, and their young pitchers have been amazing. The Yankees will see them here next weekend. The 2-2. Swung on and missed. Kuroda strikes out the side. No runs a hit. No errors. 1 man left. Joyce goes down swinging. And the Yankees coming to bat. He puts a 0 up on the board against the Rays offense. Now Matt Moore will take his chance against the Yankees starting lineup, which is presented by Lexus. The DH, the captain, Derek Jeter, leads off, batting second, and playing right field, Nick Swisher. Alex Rodriguez is at third. He'll bat third. Cleaning up, second baseman Robinson Cano. The catcher, Russell Martin, bats fifth. Batting sixth and playing left field, Andrew Jones. The seventh hitter, the center fielder, Curtis Granderson. Steve Pearce at first base, bats eighth. And batting ninth and playing shortstop, Eduardo Nunez.
Well, that Yankee lineup going to get a look at the young left-handed starter, Matt Moore, for the Tampa Bay Rays. Having a very solid rookie season. It'll be his 29th start. The even record at 10-10 and the ERA at 3.68. Our pitcher scouting report coming off a rough one. 4 innings, 94 pitches, a couple earned runs, but a solid rookie season. Only 166 innings, so they've done a nice job managing his innings. And remember last year about this time, September 22nd, his first start against the Yankees. 5 scoreless innings, 11 strikeouts in that game.
Jeter swings and misses. Moore saw the Yankees on September 5th. Lost that game 6-4, 6 1/3, 8 hits, 6 runs, 4 of them earned. Walked 1. He did strike out 9. And that was also a matchup with Hiroki Kuroda. Kind of a wave there by Jeter. 0-2. Girardi told me today that he believes that Jeter is only running at about 70% right now. He said, but there's no way he's going to come out of the lineup, no way he wants to come out of the lineup. He said, I've always respected him. He said, but this year it's just gone beyond what anybody could expect a 38-year-old to do. As Jeter swings and misses, he goes down on strikes. Why don't we check out the Rays defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Jennings, Upton, and Fold, left to right in the outfield. Infield, Longoria, Zobrist, Keppinger, and Scott. That's third to first. Loberton behind the plate, and Matt Moore is on the mound. That's going to bring up Nick Swisher. Since Nick was 0 for 28, he's bounced back 5 for his last 17. Good hard fastball. He's working the outside corner. 0-1.
It's a good fastball velocity-wise, 94, but when you watch his motion, his windup, and his delivery, it's effortless. Ball kind of jumps out of his hand. It'll lull a hitter to sleep a little bit, and then that fastball surprises you with the velocity.
They were a little worried. Matt Moore said that in his last start, his velocity was down a little bit. Overall in the season, the 4th highest velocity fastball on average. It's averaged 94.5 miles an hour on his fastball, according to Pitch FX, and that's the 4th best, behind Strasburg, number 1, David Price's teammate, Jeff Samardzija from the Cubs. His last start, he was down around 91, and he was a little worried about it. Didn't really have an explanation, but back up today. Looks like he's got some life.
Two. Inside, that's 96, 3-2.
A pretty good pitch right there. He doesn't get the call, but he dots it on the inside corner at 96. Just off. Pretty good pitch.
Swisher works a walk. Well, look at his last 9 starts, how they break down the first 6 of those 9. Looked unhittable. The last 3, 0-3 with a 4.41. Young pitchers sometimes run into September walls.
But don't you think the Rays have done a nice job? I mean, with his 29th start and his innings were 166, just over that. That's a pretty good job of maintaining his innings.
Yeah, they really have. You know, and he threw 164 in the 3rd innings last year. So for a kid that's under 25 years old, just 23, they are in good shape in terms of his overall total.
A-Rod takes a strike. We showed you during the open what Alex has done since coming up the DL, hitting the ball hard, extra bases, running fairly well. He has contributed like they had hoped. And on Friday, he hit a long home run, and yesterday got a big insurance run base hit for the Yankees when the Rays were trying to come back. 298 since the DL stint.
like about Alex the way he's driving the ball right back up the middle, but when somebody comes inside, he can drop his hands and obviously hit it a long way. Right now, his approach, middle of the field, right center, and if you come inside, all I got to do is drop my hands a little bit, and that is dangerous. Because inside on any big-time power hitter, and especially Alex, anybody, that's where you can try to pitch them. And not right now for Alex Rodriguez. He's covering the whole plate. Also sensed a little bit of an edge about Alex yesterday with that RBI base hit. First base was open. Joe Madden deciding not to pitch around Alex Rodriguez. Came right at him. Base hit up the middle. An insurance run.
Swing and a miss. A-Rod down on strikes. 2 away.
That Matt Moore slider. Since he's gone to that pitch a little more since about mid-season, he's had a lot of success with this particular pitch. Mid-90s fastball, mid to lower 80s slider, and a changeup to complement the repertoire.
Well, now he'll face Cano. Swisher leads off first. 0-1. Cano has feasted on the Rays this year. 23 for 64. That's 359. He has 3 homers and 10 ribbies. Here's today's MetLife stat of the game. Robinson Cano is one of 3 players in Major League history with 40 more doubles and 25 or more home runs in 4 consecutive seasons. And the other 2 are relatively recent. It's Albert Pujols and David Wright. No player has ever done it 5 years in a row. So Moore 0-2 against Cano. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Both pitchers strike out the side in the first. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left. We'll go to the second, and B.J. Upton will lead it off. Do you think the extra wild card makes the playoff races more exciting? Your choices are simple. It's yes or no. And you can text your vote to 42951. Standard text messaging rates apply. Here's B.J. Upton. Well, one thing that it's done, it has certainly put a premium on winning the division, which I think was the main reason for adding that extra wild card. Because now 2 wild cards, you play 1 game to get into the next round. Let's foul back. So the Yankees don't have that cushion of, well, if we made the wild card, it's the same thing. It's not the same thing anymore. It's a big, big difference. So you want to win your division. The 0-2 to Upton. Swing and a miss. 4 strikeouts. 4 outs for Kuroda.
Always like it when the hitters walk back to the dugout and they're looking up at the scoreboard to see the replay. Nothing's changed. Good slider, just off and down.
Well, I know that feeling right there. It's a slider that you're not really picking up any spin and you're confused. I know he throws a slider and a split. Which one was it? Which, to your point, David, is a pretty good sign. They're not picking anything up out of his hand.
Count 1-0 to Luke Scott.
Well, it's amazing how far Kuroda has come. I mean, he left spring training. It was fastball, curveball, split. And now all of a sudden the slider has become one of his main weapons down the stretch.
He's a lot quicker than you think with that fastball, too. We've seen him up to 94 at times with the fastball, but sits around 92. But got some late life on it, too. So Kuroda, a very underrated fastball as well.
The 1-1. Strike.
Again, in that clubhouse today, you ask about Kuroda and the Rays saying, you know, he's a kitchen sink guy. He'll throw everything up there in any count. We just saw it there, a little slider, fastball at 92 before that. Now if you're Luke Scott, you're thinking split's going to come here, but you're not quite sure. Could be a fastball in.
Swing and a miss. 5 strikeouts, 5 outs for Kuroda.
Well, this is a power split. It's 88 miles an hour. It's got a little rotation. You see Scott Reed's fastball. The fastball is 92. This one's 88. Not that much off, but just enough. The power split finger. That's why it's called a split finger fastball instead of a forkball. It's got rotation on it. It looks just like a fastball and late sink.
Look who's at the game, Mariano Rivera. Count 0-1. There had been some thought that maybe Mariano would be able to return by the end of the season. I saw him today. I said, "Are you ready?" He said, "I wish." So that's not going to happen. And the Yankees never really expected it to happen. Mo was the one who talked about it. Count 2-1.
What do you say to a guy like Mariano Rivera, who's done everything in his career? And you just hope that he can come back and leave on his own terms, because he's got nothing left to prove in this game. Straight to Cooperstown, straight to Monument Park whenever he's done.
3-1. and 2.
There's Kuroda at his best right there. 3-1 count, a fastball count. He throws the fastball, but he throws it inside, so all you can do is pull it foul. You can't do any damage with it.
Foul ball.
I always sit up here thinking, this is a guy you'd like to work with behind the plate, because he's got all the pitches that he can throw in any count. Right there, a 3-2 slider. Russell Martin has no problem going to an off-speed pitch on a full count with 2 outs. Full confidence he'll throw it over the plate and probably just off. That's a pretty nice feeling when you're working behind the plate.
Swing and a miss. 2 innings, 6 strikeouts. Hiroki Kuroda is dominating. There have been 9 outs in the game. All of them strikeouts. As the skipper breaks down this heated playoff race and looks ahead to the series with Toronto and then Oakland. Then it's more out-of-the-park adventures with Yankees on Deck presented by Blimpie. It's all coming up today after the postgame only. Yes. Well, if you take a look at our scorebook, it looks like the guest list for my family reunion. A lot of Ks. 9 outs, 9 Ks.
You saved that one for a long time, waiting for the right opportunity?
Honestly, yeah. Did I use it the right way? You all right with it?
That was perfect.
Thanks.
Wondering where you were going.
The 0-1 to Martin. 0-2. Fly ball left field. Finally an out recorded in the field as Jennings puts it away, 1 down. That'll bring up Andrew Jones. Andrew has now dipped under 200. He's at 199. 4 hits in his last 27 at bats, and in September, 3 for 23. The Yankees want him to run into a fastball. This is a tough fastball to run into the way he's throwing right now.
One of those games early on where you know Kuroda has his good stuff, the 6 strikeouts, and Matt Moore sitting in that Ray dugout. He's been watching. He knows the same thing. You better be on top of your game, it looks like, and it looks like he is.
Class is in session. Joe Madden and Carlos Pena. Threw him a breaking ball for a strike. 2-2.
We saw Matt Moore explode on the scene last year and then in the postseason. Looked like a 10-year veteran last year when he came in with the Rays. A lot of people thought he was even way ahead of David Price, and comparatively at that point in their career. Much more polished in terms of his repertoire, sliders and changeups. Most people expected him to be the Rookie of the Year this year, Matt Moore, and he struggled a little bit early, but had a really good August.
And that hits Andrew Jones.
See here, he's trying to bury a slider inside. You see he gets under it. It flattens out on him and goes side to side. Clips Andrew Jones in the elbow.
You know, David, though, I talked about his delivery early on. It looks so slow and smooth and effortless. You'd imagine an easy delivery to repeat and make him a strike thrower. Not a whole lot of wasted movement. It's not violent at all. Totally under control.
Curtis Granderson hits one to right field. Fold is back. Moves up on the warning track to make the play for the second out.
Curtis Granderson, a very hot hitter lately. Homered in 5 home runs his last 6 games, and he gets a pitch right there against Matt Moore. And anytime he swings the bat now and gets it up in the air, you think it's got a chance to reach the seats. It's a little bit short.
Yeah, I thought for sure that was out of here. You know, you just expect it off of Granderson's bat, especially at that part of the ballpark.
Here's Steve Pearce. And there's a strike. Count 0-2.
Well, you're a right-handed hitter and you have a lefty who's not afraid to throw the fastball inside. It definitely gets your attention. You like hitting against those lefties who pitch away so you can get some extension with your arms. Matt Moore, not one of those guys. He really pounds the righties in. Probably the best lefty I had ever caught who could do that was David Wells with the Yankees, and caught him a little bit with the Tigers. Could really run the fastball in on the righties and hit the corner, throw it for a strike.
Yeah, that is the difference, you know, pitching in and pitching in for strikes. Doubling up, being able to double up in there, just miss in, go right back in there and find the corner.
The 1-2. Snap throw to first, getting back is Jones.
Yeah, Andrew, picking on Andrew Jones today. He said, "What are you guys doing?"
Runner goes. Foul off. Tried to get him sleeping, as if, why are you throwing over here? Well, here's why.
A nice walking lead, too. Swaying his body, gets a good jump.
Count 3-2.
Another good at bat for Pierce. He's had some pretty good swings, pretty good at bats since Teixeira's gone down.
Swing and a miss. Pierce down on strikes. Fourth strikeout for Moore. No runs, no hits, no errors. One man left. We go to the third. No score. To work the K by K brought to you by Mazda.
Well, this is what you say coming out of the gates firing. High slider, another slider. He's burying the righties with sliders and the lefties with splitters. Anytime in the count, 3-2. You're not getting the heater. You're getting the seat. Kuroda off to a hot start.
Lincoln scoreboard, no score. Top of the third inning. It'll be 8-9-1 in the Rays order against Kuroda. And there's a strike. Folt missed 96 games with a ligament problem in his right wrist. Versatile player, plays very good defense. A perfect Joe Madden type of player. Pesky.
Leadoff type guy, and obviously not leading off in the lineup today, but leading off the third inning. The Rays would love to get him on base, try to manufacture a run. The bottom of their lineup, which did a great job in Friday night's game.
Just missed. And the pitch. And the Rays finally put it in play as Granderson puts it away for the first out. David, every pitcher likes strikeouts, but do you try to stay away from too many because it means a high pitch count?
Well, sometimes it's hard to control. As you see, Kuroda today, every time he's fallen behind, he's been able to throw something off speed for a strike to get back even in the count. He did it with Fold there on 2-1 on a slider. So if you're going to strike out guys, you're going to have more pitches. But, you know, at this point, whatever's working, you got to keep going with it.
Here's Lobaton. Swing and miss.
He's very comfortable with all of his secondary pitches. You can kind of reverse it the next time through the order. Maybe start using more fastballs.
I was just thinking usually a pitcher catcher will go through a game plan first time through the order. Let's establish the fastball with a slider, and the split have been so good for Kuroda and Martin. Kind of ride with that for a little while, and then if you see they're making some adjustments and laying off your off-speed pitches, you try to attack more with your fastball.
Count 2-2.
But such a nice pitch. He can drop it on the outside corner to a lefty. He can break it in off the plate, the slider. Now this is a tough pitch to hit. It starts off the plate, comes right to the corner. Back in the count now, 2-2.
Count 3-2. Robichon's a switch hitter. Against right-handers, he hits 183. Against lefties, he hits 321. Now that average just went down. Strikeout number 7.
Here's a kid. You mentioned the switch hitter. He's hitting 9th in this lineup. 3-2 count. He's thinking, I'm getting a fastball to crush. Well, he doesn't. He gets a slider, middle of the plate. Swings right over the top.
And we'll see those left-handed bats. Their head looking at the short porch and right. You can tell what he was thinking.
There's Desmond Jennings. And a strike.
I know exactly what he's thinking. I mean, I've hit 9th in lineups, and you get to a 3-2 count. You know you have a guy like Jennings behind you, and you say the pitcher's going to come right at me with a fastball. That's where you try to make a living. But Kuroda has good feel with his off-speed pitches.
Squibbed out toward first. Pierce is there. He'll take it himself, and that'll do it. 8 in a row retired by Kuroda since the double by Zobrist in the first. We go to the bottom of the third. Nunez leads it off. Mike Trout, 331 leads in the American League. Then Miguel Cabrera, 328. The captain, who's on deck for this inning, is hitting 322. And Joe Mauer has had a very nice bounce-back season for the Twins. He's at 319. Lincoln scoreboard. We go to the bottom of the third. Eduardo Nunez will lead off. There's a strike. Since being called up, Nunez 5 for 14. Hit a home run yesterday.
Well, this was yesterday. Eduardo Nunez following up Curtis Granderson with a solo shot. Well, that's not a cheapie either. I think it was 409. The question with Nunez, can he make the plays in the field? He has looked spectacular at times here in the last couple of days. Could make an error on a routine play, but he's a very exciting offensive player, getting some opportunities here with Derek Jeter DHing.
There's a strike. Now, I don't know what John Sterling's home run call was for Nunez, but a lot of people on Twitter said it should be Nooney hits one to the Mooney. Don't know if he went with that. Here's the 3-2. Nooney walks.
Is John on Twitter?
I don't know if John could turn on a computer, let alone be on Twitter. Susan's on Twitter. Here's Derek Jeter. Derek struck out in the first inning.
A good start here for the third inning with Nunez and his speed. 7 stolen bases, only been thrown out twice. Matt Moore looks like he's on top of his game this afternoon. We'll see if Joe Girardi decides to get some runners in motion here in the third inning.
Jeter shows bunt, takes a strike.
All kinds of options here for the Yankees. Obviously, stolen base first and foremost. Hit and run, put Nunez in motion. Derek Jeter with a high ground ball rate, so trying to do anything they can to avoid a potential double play here.
There's no doubt you manage a little bit differently earlier in ball games when you see both pitchers on top of their game. Does not look like it's going to be a slugfest this afternoon. I'll try to give Kuroda a little bit of a lead here by a little small ball. We'll see what Joe Girardi's thinking.
Derek Jeter has owned lefties this year, hitting .371. Not too bad against righties, and even .300. Derek with 198 hits. They're really paying a lot of attention to Nunez.
Matt Moore not known for a real good pickoff move, but a little quick move here. Step off and throw. Nice little weapon. Caught Nunez off guard a little bit. Looks like maybe a little belly flop back to the bag. Which Nunez just kind of, got to get back. Closer than you thought right there.
And again, Derek Jeter loving this right now, standing at home plate. A pitcher paying attention to Nunez. A lot of throws over. Step off, throw over, and Derek Jeter standing there salivating, waiting for a good pitch to hit.
Doesn't look like Nunez is getting a real good read off of Moore over there. No, he doesn't have a good pickoff move, but it's a good count for a hit and run. If you want to put him in motion with Derek Jeter's back control.
Runner goes. Pitch is high. Throw to second, not nearly in time.
Well, even better. Nunez does get a good jump. Lobaton sees it and has to resort to throwing from his knees, and really no chance. And Nunez does read it well. Never peeking back. Easily in there.
Now, Nunez stealing second like that, that's something the Yankees have been missing all year. Bottom of the order, and Girardi was saying today how much they have missed Brett Gardner. Now there seems to be a sliver of hope that Brett Gardner could return sometime next week. He'll play the outfield. He can pinch run. They don't think he's going to be able to hit, but they will activate him to be that burst of speed off the bench. Almost play the role that Homer Bush used to play on your teams, David.
Yeah, he was out before the game running the bases today. His legs look fine.
There he is.
It's his elbow that is the problem.
Line drive, base hit right center field. Nunez held up. He rounds third. He's coming home. Here's the throw. He's in there. Throw to second. Jeter's in there. Yankees lead 1-0. And the Yankees are off and running. Go yap about today's game on Sports Yapper. Free on all iPhones and Androids.
Well, a lot of things happening on this play. Derek Jeter, a nice piece of hitting going the other way, staying inside of the slider. Nunez freezes on the line drive. Good base running. He makes sure it finds some grass, and then with his speed, he's going to score easily. And a bad play by Upton, the high throw. And Derek Jeter reads that right when he gets here at first base. High throw, kicks it in, and gets into scoring position on a bad play by Upton in center field. Got to keep this ball a little bit lower and hit the cutoff man. And Derek Jeter looked pretty good running to second base right there. Good sign for the Yankees.
Jeter's 199th hit, 55th ribby, and a 1-0 Yankee lead. Here's Swisher. And he bunts. It is a beauty. Moore fields and flips to Scott, a sac bunt for Swisher as he moves Jeter over to third.
I like this play all the way around. Nick Swisher has been struggling lately in the month of September. You got a pitcher throwing the ball pretty well. You lay down a perfect sacrifice bunt. Derek Jeter cruises into third base. Now all of a sudden you're starting to see a Yankee offense here in the third. With a leadoff walk, stolen base, base hit, an RBI, sac bunt. Alex Rodriguez an opportunity to add on.
The Rays bring the infield in with a runner on third. One man out. Count 1-0.
Right back up the middle. Alex not missing a lot of fastballs on the inner half of the plate since he's come back.
A little bit of an edge to him right there when he got to first base. There was a base open. Joe Madden decided to pitch to him. Well, now Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, comes out and has a conversation with Moore on a 2-0 count. You don't have to give in here. You have a lefty and Robinson Cano on deck.
Hitting the road, take the Yankees with you this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Yankees out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Yankees.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere.
Obviously, with Robinson Cano, the left-handed batter on deck, and Matt Moore tough on lefties. A little surprised that they're not just going to go ahead and walk Alex here and put it on the rookie's hands to pitch him carefully.
Strike on the inside corner.
Well, it's an interesting pitch right there. Alex a little frustrated with himself. You know, sometimes a pitching coach will say, you know, go off speed 2-0, don't give in. Well, what does Matt Moore do? Fastball in and up a little bit. Now he goes to the slider and gets a swing and a miss. This is all those mental games between a pitcher and a hitter and a pitching coach. Don't give in.
Showing a lot of confidence in the rookie.
Two-two. Ground ball up the middle, a base hit for A-Rod. Jeter scores an RBI for Alex Rodriguez. It's 2-0 Yanks.
The third one's a changeup, and it's a mistake, and Alex is on it. And the quick flip of the bat and the clap of the hands, and this isn't what they're trying to do right here. After battling back 2-0, Matt Moore does end up giving in on a changeup. Probably not his best finish pitch in that situation.
You're liking the at-bats from Alex Rodriguez, though. Everything seems to be middle of the field, on the ground or on the line. Obviously, you want the power to be there, but good base hits with runners in scoring position. Good sign that his swing is right where he wants it to be.
Here's Cano, and that one gets past Lobaton, and Alex Rodriguez will go to second.
Well, that's a good point, Flash. You know, for Alex to stay back on a changeup in that situation and still hit it back up the middle, it's a good sign for how he's seeing the ball and his approach. 2-2 changeup right there. Usually you should be out in front of that and pull it. And Alex, no, right back up the box, staying back. And that's why he's clapping his hands, because he knows. You got to feel good about your swing to keep your hands back and not get fooled out in front on off speed.
Count 2-0. The 2-0. 3-0.
Well, it was all going so well for Matt Moore, too, until you walk the number 9 hitter in Nunez. And all of a sudden, you got to find yourself trying to go through the Yankee lineup second time through the order. And 3-0 count to Robinson Cano.
Runner goes. Throw to third. Stolen base for A-Rod. And a walk to Cano.
Well, just smart base running, knowing that Matt Moore's distracted throwing strikes, doesn't even look at second base. A-Rod walking lead. The team leader this year in stolen bases, Alex Rodriguez. I think that's his 13th. He's just been caught once, and even with that big jump, still fairly close, but under the tag.
Well, it's great base running if you're safe, right? I mean, when he was going, I'm thinking, what's he doing? But obviously a good read on the pitcher. Loving this third inning for the Yankees here. A little sacrifice bunt, moving some runners over. The stolen base a factor.
Here's Russell Martin. Fly ball to left in the second. Fastball right by him, 0-1.
Well, with one out, first and third, Matt Moore has some options here. He can think about the double play with Russell Martin or try to jam him with the fastball and get a pop-up. Possibility of a strikeout if he gets the 2 strikes. These are the add-on runs for the Yankees. Really make a difference later on in the ball game. Russell Martin find a way to put the ball in play, and Matt Moore, you're going for the strikeout here, 0-2. That could be a fastball up and in or a slider down and in.
Didn't go. Still 1-2. Playing catch with Scott a lot in this inning. 60 pitches.
Significant pitch count for the young Moore, because you understand the 23-year-old is going to be protected around the 100 pitch mark probably.
Well, to think back to his last start, he threw 94 pitches in 4 innings. He gave up a couple of earned runs, but really struggled with his command in that game. And as you mentioned, David, his velocity. I give the Yankee lineup more credit in this inning. They're making him work. He has good stuff. They've had a very productive 3rd inning.
2-2. 3-2.
Moore has thrown less than 100 pitches in 6 of his last 7 starts, and that's by design to protect the young 23-year-old.
Driven deep to right field. Full back, track, wall, lead, see ya! 3-run home run from Martin. It's a 5-0 Yankee lead.
Home run number 17 for Russell Martin. But you got to go back all the way to the beginning of this at bat. He was in the hole 0-2. Laid off some tough pitches and finally got one out over the plate. Put the ball in play when you're behind 0-2. Well, I'd say this is putting it in play. Going the other way with a little bit of power. The 17th home run, a 3-run shot. And the Yankees started this inning playing a little small ball. They're finishing up with the long ball, which they've been doing all year long.
Still just 1 out. Andrew Jones steps in. And a strike.
You're exactly right. As you see Fold go up, you would have needed a step ladder to get that high.
Count 0-2.
Got to believe Matt Moore's on the mound saying, what happened? I mean, I was cruising through 2 innings. I walked the 9th hitter to lead off the 3rd, and everything's falling apart.
Right back to Moore. Took a base hit away from Jones. 2 outs.
And Girardi moving Russell Martin up to the 5-hole, really paying off, protecting Cano. After a tough year offensively, finds himself in the power spot today, coming through.
Pitch outside to Granderson. So a 5 spot so far here in the 3rd, as the Yankees taking a healthy 5-0 lead. And that one behind the head of Granderson, all the way to the backstop, and the umpire is warning both teams.
Well, a lot of times you look at the reaction of the pitcher after he throws a pitch like this. Matt Moore completely turned around to center field.
Well, you know, dangerous pitch, anything up around the head. Granderson, one of the best hitters at getting out of the way. Look at the quick reaction from Granderson to get out and down. But a jump the gun.
And now Joe Madden's been thrown out.
I really believe that Paul Emmel, the home plate umpire, jumped the gun with the warning, and that's what this is about. Joe Madden cannot believe it. Right off with his mask after that pitch to warn both sides. I side with Madden here. I really believe that Emmel jumped the gun to fire that warning off.
I guess you can understand what Emmel's thinking. 3-run home run, tough inning. You're going to throw one up and in. But I go back to Moore and his reaction. He put his head down, turned back to center field. A lot of times if a pitcher throws up and in at somebody, they walk towards the hitter. He actually spun away from him.
Also, if you were throwing at somebody for the home run, wouldn't it be the next guy? Wouldn't he have thrown at Andrew Jones instead of Curtis Granderson? This is Madden yapping at Emil.
You're wrong. You're wrong, he said.
Kept saying you're wrong. And Emil didn't want to hear he was wrong. You're out.
So two jumped the guns. He jumped the gun on the warning, and he jumped the gun throwing Madden out, in my opinion.
Well, Madden retreats into the clubhouse. Davey Martinez will be the interim manager as the pitch is upstairs now 3-0. There's a strike. Granderson walks, and that'll bring up Pierce as the Yankees bat around here in the third. Pierce struck out in the second inning, so a runner on first base, 2 men out, 5 runs in. Yankees up 5-0. Well, he's throwing a lot of pitches this inning. 72 overall. 37 this inning. Your legs are starting to feel it now. You agree with what Leiter says, David, that you're pretty much trained like a boxer for 15 to 18 pitch inning?
Well, yeah, pretty much. And when you're getting into this situation, as you see Dave Martinez going to take over managing duties today.
That one is thrown away as Granderson rounds second. He's going to third. Scott fires the ball. Cut off by Zobrist.
Turned into a Murphy's Law inning for Matt Moore as he tries to step off quick throw, and it's wide. And Granderson knows right here. He tries to pick up Rob Thompson, the third base coach. Good base running. Don't look back. He did. He gets a read here. Now he goes right to Rob Thompson for some help. He gets it. Head down, go. Excellent job of base running right there. Just very aware of what to do. And if you're on the mound, what you do is you go back up.
That's an E1 on the throw.
You know, even compounding the pitch total this inning, Michael, is a 23-year-old on the mound that is your future. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if he gets out of this inning, but not much left in the tank for him today, I would say, especially with a 5-run deficit.
There goes that fastball command we were talking about early on in this inning, how he can pound righties in. Now he's missing up and away. The fatigue you talked about, probably a big factor in that.
Count 3-2.
Kuroda with some good fortune for a change, huh? got some runs to work with.
3.3 runs per game since the All-Star break for Kuroda. The 3-2. Popped up. Scott runs out of room. Pierce battling, and more tiring to see his fastballs down to 93.
Remember, situations like this, you just want him to put the ball in play. Enough with these foul balls, right, Dave? We had a long inning. Do something.
It looks like he'll finally get the third out as Scott makes the play, and that'll do it. But the Yankees score 5 runs, and they do it 2 ways. They have small ball, and then, as John Flaherty said, long ball. A 3-run shot by Russell Martin. Swisher likes it. So does the stadium crowd. Smokers quit line quiz. Curtis Granderson, 1 home run shy from becoming the 5th player in Yankees history with back-to-back 40 home run seasons. Who were the other 4? Say hello to those 4 people. The guy with the sunglasses on top of his forehead, that's our president of the Yes Network, John Filippelli. On his left, his wife Jenna, and their friends Bill and Rhea Gruss enjoying the ball game. Ben Zobrist leads off. That one is drilled deep to right field. There it goes. See ya. A solo home run for Zobrist. And the Rays are on the board at 5-1 Yanks. Boy, that got out in a hurry. He's the only person with hits against Kuroda today.
Yeah, you think back to the first inning. He hit one right off the top of the wall. It was a double, and he was stranded at second base. He gets a little bit extra here on a first pitch fastball and hammers it to right field. 17th home run of the year. Kuroda, who had a long time in between innings sitting in that dugout, first pitch ends up in the seats.
There's a strike to Evan Longoria.
A real change of approach for Ben Zobrist, notoriously taking first pitches and sees more pitches per at bat than just about anybody. And we saw him struggling early in the year, and his turnaround is directly correlated to a little more aggressive hitting. And first pitch hacking there for a bomb.
See the Benjamin Moore scoreboard. 5-1 Yankees lead. There's a ground ball short. Nunez. 1 out.
You see Kuroda gets right back after it to Longoria, going with the off-speed pitches that have been so effective early on. And that solo shot a little bit of a wake-up call. All right, I can't just lay the fastball in there. They're going to still be aggressive. Get back to your game plan.
Count 0-1. That one's driven to center field. Backing up is Granderson, and he'll make the play for the second out.
Kind of sky you like to see if you're an outfielder, because that cloud cover certainly helps you. Even though the ball and the clouds seem to be the same color, it just helps your depth perception. The opposite of a high sky today.
Count 1-1 to Upton. Upton struck out in the second. He has some power. 5 home runs in his last 6 games. He's going to be a free agent at the end of this year. In all likelihood, he will not be able to re-sign with the Rays. Rays would not invest that kind of money until probably in his last regular season games with the club. Count 2-2.
He's going out the right way, huh? Showing some pop down the stretch here in September. Remember, a few years ago, was a very hot hitter at the end of the year and in the postseason for the Rays.
Swing and a miss. So bounce back by Kuroda after the home run by Zobrist. 1 run, 1 hit. Nobody left. Coming up in the bottom of the 4th, Nunez will start it off again. Quitline quiz. Curtis Granderson just 1 home run shy from becoming the 5th player in Yankees history with back-to-back 40 home run seasons. Who are the other 4? I would guess Babe Ruth has to be 1. How about Mickey, Gehrig, and Giambi? How about that? Would you have gotten Giambi?
No, in his first 2 years, too, right? As a Yankee.
Yeah. Babe did it from 26 to 32. Joe Madden asks, well, I guess Dave Martinez has to make the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. So Matt Moore is done. And Brandon Gomes comes on. Those are the numbers.
A lot of everything in a short period of time. Obviously the right move to get Matt Moore out of this game after that last inning. Pitch count elevated.
If you're Matt Moore, you're still learning on the job. He's had a very solid rookie season, but I'm sure in the clubhouse he's going to be thinking, what happened? I mean, first 2 innings, I'm throwing the ball as good as you can throw it. Strikeouts, command, good stuff. And then he walks Nunez to start off the 3rd. And it all fell apart.
Off of Gomes, and that's going to be a base hit for Eduardo Nunez.
Well, this isn't exactly textbook fielding on the pitcher's part. The clank, almost a changeup back at him. He had more time than he thought. That could happen when you're on the mound. Ball coming back at you, you think it's hit hard. It's not.
Oh, they give him an error. They do not give a base hit.
Almost a check swing from Nunez, and you could see Gomes knows that he should have had it, or at least knocked it down in front of him.
Nunez goes. Pitch is high, no throw. Stolen base for Eduardo Nunez, his 2nd of the day.
Lobaton behind the plate did the right thing. Nunez had a huge jump off of Gomes. Gomes watching in the bullpen. You know that Nunez is a threat to run. He does not waste any time. We had a repeat performance here in the 3rd inning with Nunez getting on base, stealing 2nd. Opportunity for Derek Jeter.
Jeter shows bunt, takes inside. Gehrig with 199 hits. His next hit, he would tie Lou Gehrig for the franchise record 8 200-hit seasons for the Yankees. Nunez goes to 3rd, throw to 3rd. Not in time, another stolen base.
He's feeling pretty good about it right now, and you know Gomes has got a really high leg kick, and that's what he's going off of. Good throw, might have made it closer, but Nunez easily in there.
I'm starting to like what you're seeing, though. Nunez getting on, making things happen. I mean, giving the Yankees an element they have not had all year long. An error to lead off the inning. A couple of pitches later, he's at 3rd base, nobody out.
Infield is in for Jeter. Cesar Ramos.
Turning into a spring training game for the Rays at this point. The Johnny Hole staff going to be up before it's over.
Pitch outside. And Jeter walks.
And we talked about it before the game, too. At the beginning of the game, Dave Martinez, a bench coach, now managing. Almost a must-win here for Tampa Bay. They're looking to come in here and try to take 2 out of 3. Rough 3rd inning. They find themselves behind by 4.
Saw that shot at Dave Martinez, who's taken over today for the ejected Madden, and he's on a lot of lists for managerial possibilities, including Houston. Dave Martinez, longtime great coach, baseball player, good career. Been with Joe Madden for several years down in the Tampa area. He's on the short list on any opening out there right now.
Now, when we did the games with Lou Piniella in Tampa last week, he said that when he got thrown out, he would go back to the clubhouse, put his feet up on the desk, and let his bench coach manage. He said, I never relayed messages or told him hit and run or take a pitcher out. Now, in your career, did that always happen with managers?
No. There were some managers that could get a message down.
Popped up. Longoria shading his eyes from the sun. He'll put it away for the first out.
Clubhouse kids could be on a back and forth with messages from the manager up in the clubhouse. So there's really no way to control it. The rule says you can't be in the dugout. You got to be out of the dugout. We've seen everything from Bobby Valentine with fake mustaches to managers sending messages down.
Managers hanging out in the tunnel, right underneath the stairs there on the way to the clubhouse, hanging out there, barking instructions.
First and third, one out. Here's A-Rod. There's a strike. High drive, right field, fold back, track, wall. He makes the play. A-Rod thought it was out, but he gets a sac fly as Nunez will tag and score. And it's 6-1 Yanks.
Well, we talked about Alex Rodriguez's last at bat going right back up the middle with a changeup. And this is as short and as simple of a swing that you will ever see from Alex Rodriguez. Not a lot of leg kick. And just uses his hands and extends out to the right side of the field. That is as simple of a swing as you will ever see from him. And he's a couple of feet from a 3-run home run. He'll take the sacrifice fly. Just another example of good situational hitting by Alex Rodriguez.
Second ribby for him today. And here's Cano with a runner on first, now 2 outs.
It shows you how strong he is to eliminate that leg kick and basically just use his hands from a standstill and still drive it that far to right field. Got a little greedy there wanting a 3-run home run, but that was a nice job of hitting, just making sure you get the ball up in the air, pick up that sacrifice fly in the RBI.
Count 1-1. High fly ball left field. Jennings can't see the ball, and he drops in front of him. Jeter stops at third. Cano is at second. It is a tough sun out there right now, and he just did not see the ball. Now, I think we also first saw an instance of Jeter's ankle not at 70% because he'd score easily usually on that with 2 outs.
He doesn't lead on that he doesn't see it till right to the end. He's shading his eyes with the glove. Look at a look at Jeter running around. You can see Jeter's protecting in protect mode right now, and now it's Well, Jennings sort of a deke there. Looked like he had it right to the end. He didn't have it.
They score that a double. And there's a ground ball to short. Zobrist across the diamond, and that will do it. So Eduardo Nunez shows the Yankees some small ball. He reaches on an E1. He steals second. How about third? He'll take third. And then you know what? He'll just score on a sac fly. So ABC ball, 6-1 Yanks. Saturday and Sunday here at the stadium. Hey, there's a shot of the Mohegan Sun Sports Bar situated in center field. The Mohegan Sun Sports Bar is a great place to gather and enjoy the game. We go to the fifth. Luke Scott swings over a Kuroda offering on the Cadillac scoreboard. 6-1 Yankees lead. There's a strike. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Kuroda.
Kuroda just works him over, gets him to this point, and drops the splitter right in the dirt, and Scott way over the top. Textbook. Dead red fastball hitter taking advantage of that aggressiveness.
I think Kuroda learned his lesson last inning with that first pitch fastball to Zobrist that ended up in the seats. He's still going to pitch this game, and he did to Luke Scott like it was a 1-0 or a 0-0 game.
Keppinger popped up shallow center. Cano is there for the second out.
And that's a difference you'll see with a rookie pitcher as opposed to a veteran like Kuroda. You get a 5-run lead, and the rookie might just start saying, I'm just going to throw fastballs, just get ahead in the count. Opposing lineups can take advantage of that. Kuroda here in the fifth. It's off speed, sneak a fastball in there off speed for a strikeout.
Usually when you give Kuroda a lead, he wins the game. He's 13-1 in 18 games this season when pitching with a lead. Although he has surrendered a lead 4 times in his last 2 starts, which is odd for him. He had surrendered a lead only once in his previous 9 starts. The 1-1. Outside 2-1. Grounded to second, backhanded by Cano. He bobbles, fires to first, and Fold looked like he pulled his right hamstring. That's why they were able to get him. He grabbed the back of his right leg. Otherwise, he's a speedy guy. And he is gunned down. Also looked like he slowed down a little bit, thinking that Cano was going to throw him out. And then he tried to accelerate and grabbed his right leg. Powered by Benjamin Moore. Transform your home with color. Visit BenjaminMoore.com. Yankees 6, Tampa Bay 1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Sunday crowd on hand here at Yankee Stadium. Andrew Jones leads off against Brandon Gomes, his 2nd inning of work. Oh, 1. Ben Francisco takes over for Sam Fold over and right. Very odd play at first base. You see the Cadillac scoreboard 6-1. Because Fold thought with a ground ball at Cano was a sure thing and wasn't really busting it. Then when he saw that Cano had bobbled, that's when he turned it on and probably blew out his right hamstring. That's when he grabbed his back of his right leg. Pitch outside, 1-2. Right here, he's fine. He has to leave the game.
Yeah, that's hard to read. That was a tough read. You're right, Michael. And almost out of the batter's box, it looked like maybe he felt something on the swing. He might have heard it on the swing, because Sam Fold usually always busted out of the box. He's that type of player, but right out of the box, he seemed to be laboring.
And Andrew Jones swings and misses. He's 0 for 2. Now Dave Martinez is going to go to the left-hander with Granderson up.
Dave Martinez, if he's going to manage, has got to work on that slow trot, doesn't he? A little jog out to the mound.
He wants to get it going. Brings in the lefty to face Granderson. We'll be back.
The only unfortunate thing is he's not built up to 100 pitches. And, you know, if you get 5 good innings out of him in 70 pitches, I mean, that would be great.
And Andy Pettitte will make that start against the Toronto Blue Jays on Tuesday. And if he does make the 4 starts before the end of the season, they will build him up to a full-fledged 100-plus pitch starter. And that's exactly what they like to do. Ramos deals to Granderson. And it's fouled back. Why don't we take a look at the Tuesday starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon Fios. Introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed Internet, twice as fast as anything America's ever seen. Ricky Romero, who's really struggling, up against Andy Pettitte. 6 p.m. is the coverage on Yes. Game time 7 o'clock on My 9. There's a strike. Now the one fly in the ointment in all of this, especially, and you see Ramos's stats, especially if you want to get 4 starts in for Andy Pettitte before the playoffs begin, there's a terrible forecast weather-wise as Granderson goes down on strikes on Tuesday. And if that game's rained out, they're going to have to make it up as part of a doubleheader either Wednesday or Thursday. I don't want to get too far ahead, but if he doesn't pitch on Tuesday, then they will not get that 4th start in, which is the last day of the season against the Red Sox. I don't know what they do, David. Maybe they would still simulate him on Tuesday underneath the stands.
Yeah, they're going to have to think of some options at that point. But the sooner he gets in the game, the sooner you can get the ball rolling, and that's what needs to happen. You need to take inventory with Andy Pettitte and find out what he's got in that first start against major league hitters and go from there.
So if it is a rain out on Tuesday, you would pitch him on Wednesday and worry about he's not going to get 4 starts.
I would anticipate that's probably going to be the decision making, although you bring up an interesting point. They will have some options, but I don't know how you feel.
I think you have to get him in a game on Wednesday if this happens, and then if you get 3 starts, then so be it. You'll have enough to see of what he looks like, and then you hope that the 4th start is a playoff start, and you throw another 10-15 pitches on top of that. But I think the biggest question mark here was Nova yesterday, and he answered the call. I mean, he looked fantastic, good breaking ball. I think Andy Pettitte is more of a known commodity. Obviously, does not have to be 100%. He'll find a way to get hitters out.
And John, I think that's how they think that if he's healthy, he's going to find a way to get people out. And his arm has been surprisingly in good shape after not pitching for over 2 months. They've been very happy the way he's looked during the during the simulated games, but there's just so much pitching to Chris Dickerson and Eduardo Nunez. He has to face a lineup.
Well, David, you could probably talk better than we can. I mean, there's more stress in a major league game than there is in a simulated game. It's just different. It's a different level.
The 2-1 to Pierce. 3-1.
It's a different level, a different degree of difficulty, and also much more of an adrenaline rush that you're going to get that you can't simulate in anything but the real thing.
And Pierce walks. And here's Nunez. He's had a big day for the Yankees. 2 runs scored, walked, stole a base, scored. That was in the 3rd. Reached on an E1, stole 2nd, stole 3rd, scored on a sac fly. That was in the 4th.
You got to like the fact that he was called up, kind of sat around for a little bit, waiting for an opportunity, and he has taken advantage of it. Solid in the field, swinging the bat, showing some speed. Making a case he should be in that lineup every day.
Nunez made an error in the 9th inning on Friday, and as he walked off the field, all the Yankees came over to console him, and Joe Girardi went the length of the dugout to the outfield side to go talk with him as well. And I asked Girardi what he said. He said, I told him, listen, you made some plays that were great in the field. You have to concentrate on that. You can't get down about this. People make errors. Don't fixate on that. Fixate on the plays you made in the hole that other people might not have made. Popped up, left center field. As Upton will make the play, and they retire Nunez. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left on base. We're going to the 6th stadium. 6-1 Bombers. You think the extra wild card makes the playoff races more exciting? You've been voting, and here is the final tally. 65% say yes, resoundingly, and 35% say no. It is pretty exciting. What did you say the other day, David? 18 of the 30 teams are in a race?
Yeah, I think, reasonably, have a decent chance, and certainly at least half the teams, very much.
Lobaton swings and misses. Every game means so much right now. Yesterday, The Angels lost a heartbreaker to the Royals. They bring in their closer Frieri, and he gave up 2 home runs to blow a great game that Zach Greinke had pitched. That was a tough loss for the Angels, and the Angels are leading 4-2 bottom of the third in KC right now. Count 3-2. And he walked him. So Lobaton works a walk against Kuroda, and that's the first walk issued by Kuroda. Kuroda really has been a good signing by the Yankees. David mentioned earlier, a 1-year deal. And at the beginning, it looked like, oh, this is another National League pitcher that's not going to be the same in terms of effectiveness in the American League. But he found a way. He kind of changed the way he went about things. Mixed his pitches a little bit better. And he's been a force since the All-Star break. Now, only 5 wins, but they haven't given him much run support. Every time out, he gives you a credible outing.
Well, I think a few things. The slider we've talked about has gotten noticeably better since spring training, but he's learned to pitch backwards a little bit in the American League. A lot of off-speed pitches and fastball counts. As David mentioned, that fastball has enough to sneak it by you in an off-speed count. A little disappointed about walking the number 9 hitter, but quickly ahead on Jennings, the leadoff guy.
Missed outside. Missed again, 2-2 to Jennings.
All those off-speed pitches from Kuroda early in this game, all those strikeouts, to see if they make the adjustment, maybe go to that fastball a little more this time around in the zone to try to finish hitters off.
Grounded slowly to third. A-Rod across the diamond, not in time, as Jennings beat it out.
Well, it is the fastball. It's a jam shot, but Jennings can fly. No real contest there. I mean, Alex, not much he can do there.
Watching Alex attack that baseball, I was thinking to myself, it looks really healthy, real quick, got a good jump. Just shows you the speed of Jennings, able to beat it out. A lot to like about Alex Rodriguez and his game right now. Stealing bases, got a good jump on that infield hit. Obviously swinging the bat.
Here's Zobrist. He's given Kuroda some trouble, a double and a home run.
He's hit a few fastballs. Kuroda goes with the split on that first pitch. Not a bad idea to be a little bit careful of this guy. He's been locked in for 2 at-bats against Kuroda.
Count 2-0.
We saw Jennings in here with the Zobrist being a little bit more patient with those off-speed pitches. Jennings saw some sliders off the plate. He did not offer Zobrist a couple of splits early on. He took both of them. Now you're in a dangerous count, 2-0.
Popped up. Pierce near the seats, leans in, and he can't make the play. Goes off his glove and bounces into the seats.
A nice effort by Pierce. Get to the wall. You see fighting the fan. And just off his glove.
Fan has every right. The ball's inside the wall there, so that's in foul territory.
2-2.
Different story if a fan reaches over, into the playing field, but you think you'd get a little home field advantage there from your own fans. See, yes, there is contact.
The fan did kind of give way once the ball looked like it could be caught. And Pierce's momentum carried him into the fan, and they lost the ball.
Anytime a play like that, though, you're worried about a letdown. You think you might have an out. Obviously, a hitter who's locked in against Kuroda this afternoon, a double and a home run.
3-2, one pitch away from loading the bases.
And all off speed in this at bat. No reason to think it won't continue here as well.
And he walked him, bases loaded. So a walk, an infield single, and a walk, and that brings Larry Rothschild out of the dugout. This carbureted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees.
Well, this is your ball game right here if you're Kuroda and the Yankees. Longoria, middle of the order with some power. Bases loaded, nobody out. There'll be a little activity. The Yankee bullpen.
See a little David Phelps.
Hits to the scoreboard a little bit here if you're Kuroda. Obviously, you're up by 5. You just want to stay away from that one big swing.
And this is the guy at the plate that can give you that one big swing, Evan Longoria. He's 0 for 2 so far against Kuroda.
Kuroda with the ability to throw a ground ball. Longoria with the ability to hit into a double play. So that's the best case scenario if you're Kuroda right here.
Kuroda has induced 19 double play ground balls this year, and that is his career high for one season. He's also had one grounded into a double play in each of his last 4 starts. Longest streak of his career. So it's Phelps and Logan in the Yankee pen.
And you want to stay away from a count where you have to come in there with a strike. It's a big pitch here, 1-0.
There's a fastball strike, 1-1.
93 miles an hour. Kuroda went right after Longoria, and you wonder what Longoria was looking for. Probably off speed. He's been seeing it all afternoon. Slider, 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 split. Well, he comes right with a fastball, 1-0.
Zobrist saw all off speed too, and all those strikeouts came on off speed. So it's time to change your pattern if you're on the mound.
Count 2-1. Got a good fastball, 94 miles an hour here in the 6th inning. He's at 88 pitches. Bases loaded, nobody out. Yankees. It's been all Yankees since the 3rd when they scored 5 runs, but the Rays threatening here in the 6th. Grounded to 3rd, over the head of A-Rod. A bad hop. 2-run score. Zobrist will move to 3rd. It's a 2-run single for Longoria, and the Yankees lead 6-3. That was an around-the-horn double play ball, and it hit something and bounded over the head of A-Rod.
Can't really see what it hit, but that is an incredible hop. The fastball in. Kuroda makes the right pitch. Alex backs up.
Wow.
And you just don't see hops like this every day. I mean, this is not even on the lip. That's on the dirt, the skin portion. And that's a hop that's about 8 feet high. Alex is, what, of 6'3", and he's reaching up. So it's definitely 6 to 7 foot high hop.
So here's Matt Joyce. And now Joyce comes up as a tying run. Still nobody out here in the 6th inning.
And again, you have to guard against the letdown. Kuroda made his pitch. You've got a double play ground ball. Bad hop, bad luck.
Scooped up there by Martin.
Girardi on the bench looking at the lineup. You know, you got Joyce left and Upton right, and then Luke Scott left, and then Keppinger right. So bouncing back and forth with the Rays lineup, and trying to mix and match with Phelps and Logan backing up Kuroda right now.
1-1 on Joyce.
Good news for the Yankees. Longoria at first base has those hamstring problems. You don't really have to worry about him running a whole lot. The Rays looking for that one swing of the bat from Joyce, who has been struggling lately. You see getting down the line, that is not his full stride, protecting that hamstring a little bit.
Strike outside corner, 1-2. Grounded, foul.
Closer than you think. Pierce holding the runner on. Diving. Pretty far foul, though.
Would have been nice to have that out in the one that went into the crowd where Pierce off his glove. Didn't work out, a walk, and all of a sudden potential for a big inning.
This should be 2. There's 1. And there's 2, but a run scores to make it 6-4 Yankees. No RBI for Joyce, but the bases get cleared.
Just what the doctor ordered if you're Kuroda. I think at this point you'll take 2 outs for 1 run. As Flash says, pitching to the scoreboard.
Here's Upton. He has struck out twice against Kuroda. Tries to bunt and bunts foul. Upton 1 for 11 in this series against the Yanks.
"27 pitches here in the 6th inning. 5th was nice with 9 pitches.
1-1. And the count 2-1. Now you see the damage on the board there, 3 runs, but remember how it took place. A walk, which is the fault of Kuroda. A slow roller by Jennings for a base hit. Another walk. then a potential double play ground ball that hit something and bounded over the head of A-Rod. And then another double play ground ball. Upton just stays alive. So not exactly a booming rally, but the runs count nonetheless. It's now 6-4. This will be Kuroda's 100th pitch. So the Yankees are going to have to get outside of the bullpen today. 2-2. Still 2-2.
We talked about B.J. Upton and his home run surge here over the last few weeks, and you can see he's just grooving middle in. Any slider away, he's pulled off every single one of them today.
Swing and a miss. Right there, as Upton goes down for the third time. 3 runs, 2 hits, and nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Yanks up by 2. When the Yankees take on the A's, the first 18,000 guests 14 and younger receive a CC Sabathia poster courtesy of Catch 24 Advertising. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the stadium ticket window. Yankees clubhouse shops or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. There's CC. CC's next start will be Thursday against Toronto. And Derek Jeter will lead off the bottom of the 6th inning as the Tampa Bay Rays go to the 4th pitcher. It's Wade Davis. Wade Davis would be a starter on a lot of teams in the big leagues, but he works out of the bullpen here for the Rays.
He's doing a nice job. Good numbers there. A lot of strikeouts to the innings pitched.
Count 0-1.
He's pitching to a .82 ERA since the All-Star break, so hot down the stretch.
Saw Jeter running the bases earlier in this game and really in a protective type mode with that foot. And Nunez's success takes all the pressure off of putting him back at short.
And Jeter swings and misses. Strikes out for the 2nd time today.
interesting when a lot of teams start asking for this guy, Wade Davis, in the offseason, and the Rays try to mix and match and come up with a bat to help their offense. They have some pieces to deal on the pitching side. Let's see if they find some matches in the offseason for a bat.
Swisher fouls it back. Count 1-1. Check that 0-2. J.P. Howell up.
Three-run sixth inning for the Rays. Now you're starting to see some familiar faces. Wade Davis, Howell in the pen, Boone Logan getting loose for the Yankees.
Swisher today is 0 for 1, had a sacrifice bunt, also walked. Two hits in 12 at-bats lifetime against Davis.
Swisher back in the two-hole today. Obviously, Matt Moore, the lefty, starting, and it kind of looks that's the way it's going to be, you know, with Granderson batting second against righties and maybe Swisher in there against lefties in that two-hole, which is kind of been the hot spot in the Yankees' order.
Swing and a miss. Swisher down on strikes.
Well, Wade Davis is a strikeout pitcher. Good breaking ball down and in.
Swisher reads fastball and commits, and too late. Way out in front. A good curveball from Davis.
Here's A-Rod. 1 for 2 with a sac fly. Has 2 ribbies today.
Wade Davis has struck out the side 8 times this year, and that's most among American League relievers. He's not just getting the job done coming out of the pen picking up outs, he's picking up strikeouts.
Foul back to the screen. 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Joe Madden was thrown out earlier in the game for arguing a warning to both benches after his starter Matt Moore threw behind Curtis Granderson. So Dave Martinez managing. Strike 3. A-Rod down looking, and Wade Davis with an impressive 1-2-3 inning as he strikes out to the side. We got ourselves a ball game as we go to the 7th inning. Yankees lead this one 6-4. Looked like it was a bit outside. Yankees lead this one 6-4. Ben Zobrist, a lot of the offense for Tampa Bay, a double, a solo home run. He scored 2 runs. Russell Martin, a big 3-run home run in that Yankee 5-run third. And Alex Rodriguez with 2 ribbies, a run scored and a stolen base. And Eduardo Nunez also has 3 stolen bases and 2 runs scored. Some defensive changes for the Yankees. Ichiro will come in and he will take over in left field. Andrew Jones moves from left to right, and moving from right to first is going to be Nick Swisher. And the Yankees have a new pitcher. It's Boone Logan.
'72nd game he's going to appear in, which is a lot. He's been pretty darn reliable too.
Cadillac scoreboard 6-4, Yankees lead. Ryan Roberts pinch hits for Luke Scott. Takes pitch inside.
72nd game he's been in, leads the American League.
There's a strike. Popped up shallow left. Nunez backing up. And he makes the play. Nice play by Nunez.
A nice play going back and covering a lot of ground. You see him looking up at the sun. He has the glasses on. Ichiro out there in left field. It's a tough sky, tough sun. Nunez takes control right from the beginning. Battles the sun and hangs in there and makes the play.
Well, that's going to do it for Boone Logan. So a little cloud cover moving in, maybe helping out Nunez just a bit. Logan comes on to get Roberts, and Joe Girardi will go to the bullpen again. Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. Well, David Phelps, who is shuttled between the bullpen and the rotation, he will come on. This is his 29th game. He's made 9 starts, 3.42, and he certainly put himself in the Yankee plans for next year, and obviously pitching big games this year. A strikeout per inning and a good ERA. Pitch to Keppinger is a strike.
Coming off probably his best start in the big leagues too, and a big one with a much needed win. against Boston.
Fly ball right center. Granderson runs it down to the second out.
After having lost the first game in Boston recently, David Phelps found himself in the role of stopper and came through. Now back to the pen.
Here's Ben Francisco, and he swings at the first pitch and lofts it to right center. Granderson can't get there, and Andrew Jones wasn't near it, and it bounces into the bullpen for a double. Boy, that looked eminently catchable off the bat.
Off the bat, I thought it was a routine fly ball, and we'll take another look at the swing. A first pitch fastball, and Francisco drives it the other way. Curtis Granderson trying to get those glasses down. He cannot. Andrew Jones not in the picture. Like this ball had a little bit of carry and maybe a little bit of slice left to right. Andrew Jones nowhere near it.
Old school, going for the flap down, but misses the whiff on the flap. The flip shades wrapped around the hat, kind of a lost art. You don't see a lot of guys wear those anymore. But Grandy's kind of an old school guy. But that's one of the problems with those old school flaps is you got to find them and flap them down on the run when your head's bouncing.
Well, now the Rays will go to the bench again. They'll bring in Carlos Pena, try to tie it with one swing. He'll pinch hit for Lobaton.
The Yankees going to put the exaggerated shift on. Robinson Cano in short right field. Nunez on the second base side of the bag. Pena's up there for one reason and one reason only. That's to get the bat head out and try to hit a two-run jack.
Count 1-0. .54 of his hits in the outfield have gone to right, 12 to center, 13 to left. Pena's been a disappointment for this team. There's a batting average at 193, only 17 home runs. But he does have power, and that's why he's here. Also a great glove at first, count 2-0. Rapata and Epley are ready. Just spectators right now.
We have seen those two guys up all year long. Rapata and Epley, a familiar theme. Side by side.
Count 3-0, so really being careful with Pena. Now, do they green light him on 3-0?
I think they sent him up there for one reason. If he gets something out over the plate, he can cheat and try to hook one into the seats here. Jennings, the right-hander, on deck.
Hey. 3-0 changeup gives you an idea of how they're approaching Pena right now. The key is don't get fooled into thinking you can give in now. Oh, you get a 3-0 call strike. You still have to make quality pitches.
And Pena with a pinch hit walk.
See Phelps shaking his head. That was all by design.
A little odd here. You've got another right-hander up. When would you bring him in then? This is a pretty big spot in the game. You go with Epley right here against Desmond Jennings, but he elects to stay with the rookie. Zobrist is on deck. And there's a strike.
Yeah, I like that pitch right there. You got to go get Jennings here. Zobrist on deck has had a big afternoon, swinging the bat a lot better. Right on right. Be aggressive with this at bat if you're David Phelps.
Missed outside. 1-1. And I'm not saying that Epley is a better option than Phelps. I'm just saying, why is Epley up if you're going to stay with Phelps?
For Evan Longoria, maybe?
I guess if it gets to that point, the game could be out of hand. But 1-1. Count 1 and 2, but that's probably it, John.
Now, the one thing Phelps has showed us this year, he is not afraid. He will go right at hitters. Good pitch there, just off the corner, gets the called strike. Joe Girardi, a lot of confidence in his young righty.
Strike 3. He strikes out Jennings looking. So Phelps showing the guts of a seasoned veteran. Went right after Jennings, clipped the outside corner to get out of the jam. No runs a hit. No errors and 2 men left at the end of 6.5. Time for the 7th inning stretch here at the stadium. Yankees lead 6-4, but will stay where we are to honor America in the Bronx.
Servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now, join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
Sox will make up a rain-out game tomorrow, so that game's going to be unbelievably big, and it's coming down to the wire in the Central. Ryan Roberts will take over at second base. Jeff Kempicher will take over at first, and Jose Molina takes over behind the plate. 6-4, Yankees lead the Rays. As we go to the bottom of the 7th, it'll be Cano, Martin, and Jones on the Cadillac scoreboard. 6-4-0, leading 4-5-2. Cano pops it up. Zobrist makes the play. 1 pitch, 1 out.
The Yankees scored 5 runs in the 3rd. Russell Martin's big home run in that inning. Been able to add on 1 run, but you get that feeling. You got to tack on some more. Keep letting the Rays hang around here and going down to the wire. Robbie's getting hot now.
Well, those 3 runs for the Rays in the 6th really big because that brought in Wade Davis, who is a shutdown reliever. Struck out the side in the 6th inning. Now got the first out. Robinson Cano and 2 quick strikes on Russell Martin. I agree with you, David. You start getting that feeling, but the Rays know how important this game is. They're throwing out their quality relievers. Shadows in this game too are going to start to be a factor here at the end of the game. Right in center field, and shadows starting to creep into that hitter's box.
Big inning for David Phelps last inning to get the ball to Robertson, who will come in for the 8th. That's the way it plays out. You could see Phelps in more looks like that later in games.
Wade Davis strikes out Russell Martin. 4th strikeout in an inning and 2/3 for Davis.
Just high queso. Letter high. You see the late swing of Martin, and hard to get on top of that one.
Well, the Yankees send up Raul Ibanez to pinch hit for Andrew Jones, and Martinez will take out Wade Davis, who looked like he could get anybody out at that point. I think the Yankees are celebrating that move. Preview with Audi batting practice today, the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then after the game on My 9, Andy Pettit's going to start that game. Come back to Yes for Yankees extra innings. Wednesday night, we've got full game coverage starting at 6 right here on Yes. J.P. Howell comes on The left-hander will face Raul Ibanez. Against left-handers this year, Ibanez is 9 for 52. That's 173. And you see the numbers on Howell. This will be his 51st game.
I know Howell can be tough, but Wade Davis looked like he was locked in. 4 out of the 5 outs he got were on strikeouts. Davey Martinez, acting manager, decides to make a move left on left.
Fly ball, right center. Upton is there, and he'll put it away for the final out of the 7th inning. We go to the 8th here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Yankees 6 and the Rays 4. Bob Lorenz will update the playoff picture round. Baseball Plus Meredith Morakovitz gets a reaction from the clubhouse, including Joe Girardi's manager's report. It's the WB Mason postgame. It's only on Yes. Chris Dickerson takes over in left field, and that means Ichiro moves from left to right. David Robertson, the 1-loss record not good, but the other numbers are very good. Ben Zobrist will lead it off. Hyundai scoreboard, Yankees lead 6-4. We're in the 8th inning. It's a big game for the Yankees, but it'd be hard to argue it's a bigger game for the Rays. They've got a deficit, and they're running out of time. And if they lose this, they'd be 5 games out.
Well, David Robertson's been working a lot lately, and he's going to have to go right through the middle of Davey Martinez's lineup. Zobrist, Longoria, and Matt Joyce.
Count 1-2. fouled away.
Love that pitch right there. A couple of breaking balls, fastball down and away, and then David Robertson tried to go high with a fastball. See where Russell Martin's glove is, and a nice job by Zobrist just to foul it off. You know all about that little life on David Robertson's fastball. A good job of hitting just to get a piece.
Just missed inside. The 2-2. 3-2.
Soriano getting ready early just in case. Robertson looking for his 28th hold, which is now 4th in the American League. Vinny Pistano of Cleveland's got 35 holds in the setup role, which leads the American League.
Fly ball center field. Granderson went back, then comes in for the first out. You can vote along with us for today's Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 42951 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Here are today's candidates. Is it number 1, Hiroki Kuroda, number 2, Russell Martin, number 3, Alex Rodriguez, number 4, Ben Zobrist. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Longoria had a bad bounce 2-run single in the 6th inning over the head of Alex Rodriguez. More conventional ground ball, this one to Nunez. 2 outs. That's going to bring up Matt Joyce.
Nice job by David Robertson getting those first 2 outs. And again, you see the shadows a factor here in the 8th inning. Zobrist with his power, Longoria the same. Matt Joyce 15 home runs. Nobody on base. You let him do what he wants to do here in the situation. Come right after him with a 2-run lead.
One and one. Now 1-2.
Exactly the type of inning that Girardi and Larry Rothschild wanted to see. Aggressive, attacking, 12 pitches, 2 outs. Got a chance 1-2 to put it away quickly right here.
Two and two.
We've kind of seen Robertson go to that curveball a little more often as of late. He's got a good one. Light to dark, good tight spin, good take by Joyce there.
Strike 3. Joyce down looking. He cannot believe that call by Paul Emmel. Believe it. The Rays go down 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the 8th. great plays. Just watch the encore later every night or again the next morning at 9. And it's brought to you by Verizon Fios. Well, Paul Emmel, the home plate umpire, punched out Matt Joyce on this called third strike. Joyce didn't like it, barked a little, and then he threw out Matt Joyce.
But 30 years ago, you used to see umpires walk away from situations like this. Now you see them sort of hang in there. And different school nowadays.
J.P. Howell against Granderson, who lines a single left field. Rare for Granderson to take it the other way, but he did. Picks up a leadoff single here in the 8th.
Well, just hanging in there. We talked about the shadows. Not an easy time to hit, but Curtis just blocks one the other way. Leadoff base hit. I think he's trying to add on a little bit, make Soriano's job just a little bit easier if they can.
Here's Ichiro, his first at bat. Bunted toward third. Longoria will get Ichiro. That'll be a sacrifice bunt as Granderson moves to second base.
Well, we've seen the sacrifice bunt this afternoon. Nick Swisher did it in the 3rd inning. Ichiro now here in the 8th and executed perfectly right in front of Longoria. You make him field it. Curtis Granderson moves into scoring position.
And Dave Martinez will go to the bullpen. He'll bring in a right-hander to face Eduardo Nunez. So the Yankees have a runner at second base. One man out, bottom of the 8th inning. Yankees looking for the series win. They lead this 6-4. Nets basketball is here on Yes. With a new look, a new arena, and a new roster, SI.com says the Nets may have become the best team in the NBA's biggest city. And the Times says New York basketball may never be the same. Get ready for Brooklyn Nets basketball coming this fall on Yes. Burke Badenhop with a runner on second and one out will deal to Eduardo Nunez. Cuts it the first pitch and fouls it off.
His 61st game, nice ERA. Only 12 walks as well, so he's a strike thrower, sinker baller.
Good numbers, too. He got off to a terrible start, an ERA over 7 in April. Was regrouped and having a very nice year.
There's a strike. One and two. Popped up. Long run for Keppinger, and he runs out of room. Dane De La Rosa. Nunez in much shorter duty than he thought he would get. Has been very, very good in these situations. 6 out of 9 with runners in scoring position. Fly ball shallow center. Upton comes on to make the play for the second out. And that's going to bring up the captain, Derek Jeter.
Talked about the third inning when Nunez got it going with a walk. It was Derek Jeter's follow-up single that also set up to that big inning. The 5-run bottom of the third for the Yankees.
Jeter's single in that 5-run third extended his hitting streak to 12 straight. Count 1-0. Here till the end.
Just hanging out. Got the shades around the neck.
Chop towards short. Zobrist. And that'll do it here in the 8th. No runs to hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We go to the 9th. The Rays will try to come back against their former teammate, Rafael Soriano. 2 straight. Giants and the Bucks, what a game that is. They'll talk about that. Who's going to be today's best performers? They'll break it all down on a new This Week in Football, presented by Geico, Tuesday at 7, only on Yes. All right, we go to the 9th inning, and they turn it over to Soriano. He'll try to pick up his 40th save of the year in 43 opportunities. His numbers, they speak for themselves. Mariano Rivera is here at the ballpark today, and he was always thought of as the indispensable Yankee. And not to take anything away from Mariano, but whatever the Yankees do or don't do this year, if they don't do it, it's not because Soriano did not handle this role very well. There's B.J. Upton. 0-1. Upton was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts against Kuroda. This could be Kuroda's 14th win. The 0-1. 0-2.
And all 3 strikeouts were on sliders from Kuroda, and 2 straight from Soriano to go to. So what do you think's coming here?
Yeah, well, the first one was good. The second one kind of spun a little bit, but you're right, David. Probably going to see a few more sliders off the plate. You see Upton's stance a little bit open and off the plate. If you throw anything down and away, you should have a good chance.
The 0-2. That got too much of the plate.
Yeah. I'm all for showing a fastball to get him off the speed of your slider, but this is too good of a pitch.
See, Russell Martin wanted it much higher, but he did get it in enough, and he did beat Upton. BJ's always ready for that fastball in the inner half.
Foul back.
Flash up sort of the fan of keep throwing it until they prove they're not going to swing at it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Russell maybe got a little scared with that second slider that spun there. Looks like they're going to another one.
Swing and a miss. The golden sombrero for Upton. 4 strikeouts.
Well, they get back to where it should be. And number 4 on the day for Upton. And this is the type of 0-2 slider you want to throw, with a little help from the shadow.
It's a great look on Yesmo, though, because when Soriano got to the point of releasing the ball, it looked like a fastball coming out of his hand, and that's what you want a slider to look like. And then you just finish a little bit with your hand, give it some break.
Here's Ryan Roberts. Pinch hit in the 7th, popped to short. There's a ground ball to A-Rod off his glove. He finds it, fires. Not in time. Well, that should be an error on Alex. We'll see how it's scored. And it is an error on A-Rod.
Well, in a 2-run game, obviously a costly mistake. Goes to his right. The backhand falls down, knocks it down, and then tries to make up for it with his arm strength.
A little closer than you thought at first, but another high hop off the grass this time from Alex. Swisher, everything he's got to stay on the bag. That's the best he's got, and certainly the right call at first base. Almost a full split by Swish.
Jerry Meals, the first base umpire. Here's Jeff Keppinger. Count 1-0.
Well, if you're the Rays, that's what you were looking for. A little bit of a break here. One swing of the bat, you have a tie ball game. Keppinger known more as an average hitter than a power guy. Only 6 home runs.
Strike. This could do it. There's one. On to first. It's a double play, and the Yankees win 6-4. 6-4-3, end of the game, and Soriano nails down another. Couple of ribbies for Alex Rodriguez, a 3-run home run from Russell Martin. And Nunez starts the double play. That ends the Sunday afternoon game, just barely at first base. And Russell Martin backing up first, does the fist pump, and after his big 3-run home run, he can celebrate this victory. So stick around for the postgame show to find out who's today's Chevy Player of the Game. We'll be back. We'll wrap things up, give out some awards. We'll get you to the postgame with Bob Lorenz and Meredith Morakovich. Yankees win this one 6-4. They take this series 2-1.